Hey there, welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring this concept that's becoming super crucial, I think, in today's world,
Yeah.
and that is NQ, or Network Quotient.
Mm-hmm.
And it really builds on those ideas I think we're all pretty familiar with now of IQ and EQ,
Right.
but takes us into, I think, a really fascinating realm of human potential,
Definitely.
especially as we're, living in this increasingly interconnected age.
Sure, for sure.
So almost like we're kind of embarking on this quest, I guess you could
I
say,
like that.
to unlock this full networking potential.
Yeah.
And our guide on this journey is excerpts from a piece about
Okay.
Teru Nakashima,
Oh, interesting.
who's really a thought leader in this space. And he uses metaphors and the power of self-affirmation to explain his ideas.
Yeah, I've come across some of his work before.
Yeah.
He has this really intriguing way of connecting
Yeah.
seemingly disparate ideas.
I know.
And it makes you see things in a whole new light.
Absolutely. So let's dive into this whole NQ thing.
Okay.
And I think a good way to start is to kind of imagine human potential as a tree,
Okay.
as Nakashima does. And think about it.
I like that.
We're moving beyond the roots of IQ, which is, that raw processing power, and the trunk of EQ, that ability to understand and manage emotions.
Yeah.
But with NC, we're reaching out into the branches and leaves.
Okay.
It's that ability to connect and collaborate to create something much bigger than ourselves.
So it's like each stage of this tree's growth represents a new phase in the evolution of human intelligence.
Right.
And each one is crucial for supporting the next one.
Exactly.
Think of it this way. Strong roots.
Yeah.
Strong branches.
I'm already digging this tree analogy.
Yeah.
So tell me more about NQ as those branches and leaves. What does that look like in practice?
Well, Nakashima introduces this idea of the self-affirmation tree.
Okay.
Okay, so picture this. The roots are self-esteem,
Okay.
the bedrock that supports your IQ.
Got it.
You need that belief in yourself to effectively apply your intelligence.
Right.
And remember, a strong NQ relies on a solid IQ foundation.
Yeah. So self-esteem fuels our ability to problem solve and think critically.
Exactly.
Which are essential for navigating
That's right.
complex networks and collaborations.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then the trunk representing EQ is all about self-acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Being comfortable with who you are, your strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
allows you to connect with others authentically
Right.
and build trust.
Yeah.
That's vital for a thriving NQ.
It's like self-acceptance allows us to approach relationships without putting on a facade.
Yeah.
And that genuine connection is what creates strong bonds within a network.
100%.
Okay.
Now, from that solid trunk of self-acceptance, grow the branches.
Okay.
Self-efficacy, or the belief in your ability to accomplish things.
Mm-hmm.
Self-confidence, self-determination, and self-worth.
Got it.
These all contribute to a strong NQ by giving you the tools to actively engage with your network,
Yeah.
contribute meaningful, and pursue your goals.
So if we imagine each of these branches reaching out and connecting with other branches from other trees, that's a powerful image
It is.
of how we collaborate and create something larger than any individual tree.
Precisely. It's like a forest of interconnected potential where each individual contributes to the overall strength and resilience of the ecosystem.
I'm curious about something. Nakashima also connects this self-affirmation tree to numerology and fortune telling.
Yes.
How does that fit in?
He views these practices not as predicting the future,
Okay.
but as tools for understanding relationships and potential. It's about seeing those connections between individuals and recognizing the unique strengths each person brings to the network.
So rather than dictating our destiny,
Right.
these practices offer a lens through which we can view our place within this web of interconnectedness
Yeah.
that NQ represents.
That's a great way to put it. It's about recognizing patterns and understanding the dynamics at play within our networks.
This is all really fascinating.
Yeah.
But I think our listener might be wondering, why is NQ so important? Especially now. We live in a world where AI is rapidly advancing. Where do we humans fit in with our NQ?
That's a crucial question. You see, AI might be able to master IQ,
Yeah.
even EQ to some degree. But NQ, that distinctly human ability to connect,
Yeah.
collaborate, and create something entirely new.
Right.
That's where we have the edge.
It's like AI might be able to play a piece of music perfectly, But
Okay.
it's humans who create the music, who improvise, who jam together, and create something fresh and unexpected.
I like that.
So what's fascinating here is that NQ is not just something we're born with.
Right.
It's a skill we can actively cultivate.
100%.
Nakashima suggests specific exercises to help strengthen our NQ,
Okay.
and he categorizes them by time and effort,
Okay.
instant or habit-based, and self or other focused.
Got it.
So there are exercises we can do right now to boost our NQ.
Absolutely.
Tell me more about these instant self-referred exercises.
One that stands out is connection mapping. This involves taking a moment to visualize your network. Literally grab a piece of paper and start mapping out all the people you're connected to.
Okay, so this sounds like a great way to become more aware of the structure of our networks.
Yeah.
But how do we analyze that map to actually boost our NQ?
As you're mapping, think about the value exchange in each connection.
Okay,
Ask yourself, what do I give to this person? And what do I receive in return?
got it.
Are you the go-to problem solver in your network? Do you primarily provide emotional support?
So it's about understanding our role within the network
Yes,
and the unique value we bring to the table.
exactly.
It can help us identify any gaps or areas where we could contribute more diversely.
100%. And this exercise can be incredibly empowering.
Yeah?
It helps boost our sense of self-worth, which, remember, are those delicious fruits on our self-affirmation tree.
Right.
Seeing those connections and the value we bring can be a real confidence booster.
I love that recognizing our contributions within our network feeds back into those roots of self-esteem,
Yes.
strengthening the whole tree. This is making me want to grab a pen and paper right now.
It's a simple exercise, but it can be incredibly incredible.
Okay.
Now let's move on to impromptu feedback request,
Okay.
which is another instant self-effort exercise.
Hmm.
It's all about getting comfortable with asking for specific feedback
Okay.
after meetings or interactions.
That sounds great in theory, but what if you're in a high-stakes situation where asking for feedback feels risky?
Yeah,
How do you navigate that?
that's a great point. It's about choosing the right moments and framing your requests appropriately. It might not be suitable for every situation,
Right.
but even in those high-stakes scenarios, there are often opportunities for informal feedback.
So it's about being strategic and recognizing those moments where a quick feedback request can provide valuable insights
Yes.
without disrupting the flow.
Exactly. And according to Nakashima, this practice can significantly build self-confidence, which are those strong leaves on our metaphorical tree.
I see what you mean. The more comfortable we become with seeking feedback, the more confident we become in our abilities
Yeah.
and our contributions within the network.
For sure.
Okay, so let's shift gears to some habit-based exercises for developing NQ.
Sounds good.
The weekly connection journal is a great one for ongoing self-effort.
Mm-hmm.
Each week, take some time to reflect on how your network has changed.
Okay.
Did you make new connections? Did any relationships deepen or fade? And most importantly, why?
It's not just about noting the changes, but reflecting on the why. This helps you develop self-interpretation, those beautiful blossoms on our tree.
That's a great point. Understanding the why behind those shifts in our network
Yes.
gives us more agency in shaping it moving forward.
Precisely. And speaking of shaping our network, the monthly mentor meeting is a valuable habit-based exercise that involves connecting with experts in various fields, individuals who can offer unique perspectives and insights.
I see how that can be incredibly beneficial, expanding our knowledge base and opening up new avenues for connection.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't it be helpful to also look for mentorship opportunities within our existing network?
Absolutely. Sometimes the most valuable mentors are closer than we think.
Right.
It's about recognizing those individuals who possess strengths in areas where we might need guidance.
It makes me think about how this whole approach to NQ really emphasizes a mindset shift.
Yeah.
It's not just about collecting contacts.
Right.
It's about actively nurturing those connections and recognizing the mutual benefits of a strong network.
Exactly. And that brings us to another set of exercises that Nakashima calls tsunagi exercises, which focus on connecting with others.
Okay, tsunagi, what does that mean? And how do these exercises differ from the ones we've discussed so far?
Tsunagi is a Japanese term that roughly translates to connection request.
Okay.
And these exercises really encourage us to be proactive in expanding our network.
I like that. So it's about taking initiative and seeking out new connections strategically.
Yes.
Tell me more about these tsunagi exercises.
One that stands out is the tsunagi request itself.
Okay.
Imagine you've just met someone new at a conference or event.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of simply exchanging business cards,
Right.
you ask them, Could you introduce me to someone who's facing similar challenges or working on similar projects?
So it's about leveraging those initial encounters to tap into a wider network. It's bold, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
You're essentially turning every new connection into a potential gateway to others.
it's about maximizing those opportunities for connection and recognizing that everyone we meet is potentially linked to a whole network of individuals who could enrich our own.
What I appreciate about this approach is that it goes beyond the often transactional nature of traditional networking. It feels more genuine and focused on building meaningful connections.
That's a great observation. It's about fostering a sense of community and shared purpose within our network.
Okay.
Now let's shift gears to a habit-based Tsunagi exercise,
Okay.
the monthly value exchange list.
hmm
This one involves taking stock at the end of each month and listing all the value you've provided to others, as well as the value you've received in return.
So it's about creating a balance sheets for our relationships,
Right,
recognizing that strong networks are built on reciprocity.
exactly.
What are the benefits of this exercise?
By regularly engaging in this practice, we start to see the flow of give and take in our network,
Okay.
which can be incredibly grounding.
Yeah.
It strengthens our sense of self-esteem, those essential roots of our self-affirmation tree.
It reminds us that we're not just takers,
Mm-hmm.
we're contributors.
Yeah,
We have something valuable to offer, and that recognition can be a powerful boost to our self-worth.
exactly. And when we see that exchange of value, it reinforces those connections and strengthens the overall network.
This is all really resonating with me. It's making me rethink how I approach networking
Yeah.
and the potential it holds.
Good.
Okay, what's the last Tsunagi exercise you want to share?
Let's talk about cross-mentoring, a fantastic way to combine giving and receiving within our network.
Okay.
This involves intentionally creating relationships where you take turns being both the mentor and the mentee.
So it's a two-way street of learning and growth.
Mm-hmm.
You're sharing your expertise in one area while benefiting from someone else's knowledge in another.
It's a beautiful way to create a dynamic, mutually beneficial relationship that fosters both personal and professional development. It also helps break down hierarchies and encourages a more collaborative approach to knowledge sharing within the network.
It's like weaving a tapestry of interconnected expertise where everyone benefits from the shared knowledge and experience.
I love that analogy. It captures the essence of NQ. It's about recognizing that when we connect and collaborate, we all rise together. It's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
We've explored this idea of NQ moving from the roots of IQ
Hmm.
to those expansive branches reaching out to connect and collaborate.
Yeah,
It's an inspiring image.
it is.
But I'm curious, you mentioned earlier that Nakashima connects this self-affirmation tree to numerology and fortune telling.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that? It feels like a bit of a jump from what we've been discussing.
It's an interesting point. While those practices might seem unrelated to NQ at first glance,
Yeah.
Nakashima sees them as tools for understanding the interconnectedness of human relationships.
Okay.
He believes that these practices, when approached thoughtfully, can offer insights into individual strengths and potential for connection.
I'm hearing you said that it's not about taking those predictions literally, but rather seeing them as a framework for understanding the dynamics within our network.
Precisely. It's about recognizing patterns and gaining a deeper understanding of the individuals within our network. It's just another lens through which we can explore those connections.
So it's like using those practices as a metaphorical map
Yeah,
to navigate the complex terrain of human relationships.
exactly. And just like any map, it's a tool that can guide us, but ultimately we choose our own path.
This whole conversation has been incredibly insightful. It's made me realize that NQ is more than just a buzzword.
For sure.
It's a crucial skill for navigating the complexities of our modern world, both professionally and personally.
Absolutely. And it's a skill that could be honed and developed through conscious effort and practice.
So if our listener is feeling inspired to start cultivating their NQ, what's a good starting point? What one small action could they take today to set that process in motion?
I would suggest starting with one of the instant self-effort exercises we discussed.
Okay.
Take a few minutes to map out your current network or reach out to someone for feedback after your next meeting. Those small actions can be the first steps towards building a stronger, more vibrant NQ.
It's about building momentum and making those practices a part of our routine, just like we would with any other skill we want to develop.
Exactly. And remember, nurturing your NQ is an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
It's about staying curious, engaging with your network authentically, and always seeking out opportunities for connection and collaboration.
It feels like we've uncovered this hidden potential within ourselves.
Yeah.
This ability to connect and collaborate in a way that's uniquely human.
It is empowering, isn't it? It's about recognizing that we're not just isolated individuals, but active participants in this vast network of human connection.
Right.
And that by nurturing our NQ, we can not only thrive individually, but also contribute to something much larger than ourselves.
It's like we're shifting from a mindset of competition
Hmm.
to one of cooperation, recognizing that we all benefit from a strong, interconnected network.
And that brings us back to the importance of NQ in this age of AI.
Right.
While AI might excel at processing information and even mimicking human emotions,
Yeah.
it's that genuine human connection, that spark of creativity that emerges from collaboration
Right.
that sets us apart.
It's almost like AI is playing a different game altogether
No,
because they're mastering the rules, but we're the ones creating the game itself, constantly evolving it and coming up with new possibilities.
That's the great way to put it. And that's why nurturing our NQ is so vital.
Yeah.
It's how we thrive in this increasingly complex and interconnected world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into NQ,
Okay.
what's the key takeaway for our listener? What do we want them to walk away with?
I think the most important thing is to recognize that NQ is not some fixed trait.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dynamic skill that we can actively cultivate through conscious effort and practice.
Right.
And the benefits extend far beyond just our professional lives.
It impacts our relationships, our communities, and even our sense of self.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and our role within that web.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring this concept of NQ, from the roots of IQ to those expansive branches reaching out to connect and collaborate.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Every interaction, every connection we make is an opportunity to strengthen our NQ and contribute to a more vibrant and interconnected world.
So keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep growing that NQ. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.
And while the monthly Metro meeting sounds valuable, I wonder if it might become overwhelming.
Yeah.
For someone already juggling a busy schedule,
Yeah.
could there be alternative ways to achieve similar benefits?
That's a great point. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's about finding what works best for your individual needs and schedule.
For sure.
So perhaps instead of formal monthly meetings, maybe aimed for more casual coffee chats
Yeah,
with mentors or even connect virtually.
exactly.
The key is to create that consistent habit of engaging with those who can expand your knowledge and network.
Absolutely.
I think it's so easy to get caught up in, like the day-to-day
Yeah,
and forget to kind of take that step back and really look at the bigger picture of our networks and how we're nurturing them.
absolutely. It's about making those connections a priority and recognizing the value they bring to our lives.
It feels like we've uncovered this hidden potential within ourselves, this ability to connect and collaborate in a way that's uniquely human.
It is empowering, isn't it? It's about recognizing that we're not just isolated individuals, but active participants in this vast network of human connection. And that by nurturing our NQ, we can not only thrive individually, but also contribute to something much larger than ourselves.
It's like we're shifting from a mindset of competition to one of cooperation, recognizing that we all benefit from a strong, interconnected network.
And that brings us back to the importance of NQ in this age of AI.
Right.
While AI might excel at processing information and even mimicking human emotions, is that genuine human connection, that spark of creativity that emerges from collaboration, that sets us apart.
It's almost like AI is playing a different game altogether.
Okay.
They're mastering the rules, but we're the ones creating the game itself, constantly evolving it and coming up with new possibilities.
That's a great way to put it. And that's why nurturing our NQ is so vital. It's how we thrive in this increasingly complex and interconnected world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into NQ, what's the key takeaway for our listener?
Okay.
What do we want them to walk away with?
I think the most important thing is to recognize that NQ is not some fixed trait. It's a dynamic skill that we can actively cultivate through conscious effort and practice. And the benefits extend far beyond just our professional lives.
Yeah, it impacts our relationships, our communities, and even our sense of self.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and our role within that web.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring this concept of NQ, from the roots of IQ to those expansive branches reaching out to connect and collaborate.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Every interaction, every connection we make is an opportunity to strengthen our NQ and contribute to a more vibrant and interconnected world.
So keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep growing that NQ. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.